ETHOS Explorers, I'm Riley, and today I'm at Oxbow Park, and we're gonna go check out some of the wildlife. Let's go explore. Today I'm joined by Krista Daniels, who is an interpretive naturalist. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So what is an interpretive naturalist?
So an interpretive naturalist is someone who teaches about like the plants and the animals in our area, but more than just like the names of things and how they fit together. It's more of like a storytelling, describing how they fit in, describing maybe their behaviors and why they do the things that they do. So kind of a storyteller about nature.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I, from a very young age, wanted to be a veterinarian. And then I went to college as pre-vet, and then I took organic chemistry and decided, oh no, this is not for me. And so I got introduced to like an outdoor education center. My mentors were amazing and saw that that was a good fit for me. And kind of it all went from there. So animals, kids, I'm in. And I can do that as a naturalist. It's great.
Could you tell us about some of the different careers here at the Elkhart County Parks?
Yeah, sure. So there's basically two halves to the Parks Department. One is education, so that's the one I belong to, and then the other one would be like the maintenance or groundskeeping. So I would say there are multiple jobs within those as well, but groundskeeping would be, cleaning up the sites, making sure shelters are ready, mowing the yards, cutting down, trees and that kind of thing, or planting trees, depends on what the project is. And then the education side of it, we actually here at Elkhart County Parks, we have our naturalists who are teaching about nature, kind of going throughout the parks into schools. And then we have a Bonneville mill, which is an old grist mill that is still running. And so there's some interpretation of that, like historical interpretation. And then we have also, as one of our park properties, is the Elkhart County Historical Museum. And so there's that piece too, kind of our cultural history of the county parks. So we have curators of education and curators of collections there and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a wide range of jobs and possibilities within a parks department.
Could you tell us some of the things that we would be able to see if we were visiting the parks?
Yeah, we have so many different habitats here. So you could go fishing by the water. And many of our parks have a stream or a river that flows at least on the border or through. There's also many, many wooded areas with wonderfully shaded paths, lots of great birds and all sorts of species you can come across. We do have like prairie areas too. So if you're into wildflowers or like those big, bursting insect populations that you see, like butterflies and things like that, we have lots of that too. So all sorts of things. I bet if you name an animal, we probably would have it here at some point, as long as it's native to Indiana.
What kind of events do you guys host at the parks?
We do, as an educator, as one of the education staff, we do school field trips. This is our busy season, but we also do lots of public programs. And so those would be open to anyone, that is interested. And so they can go online, they can register, they can come out. We also do events. So that would be things maybe we partner with like the library or we partner with the Humane Society, like that kind of stuff. We try to highlight some of our really unique properties as well. So like the mill, that's a really unique thing that we have. So we do try to do a lot of things like pancake breakfasts and like special grain days where we're featuring a new grain and invite people in. We have a hiking club that's super popular. And we get like 70 plus people that come out on a Tuesday night and go hiking once a month to the different parks and properties. So yeah, lots and lots of variety for sure.
Could you tell us about the different type of birds that we would see here?
Yeah, sure. So we have a huge variety. We have waterfowl, we have raptors, so things like hawks and owls, and we even see an eagle occasionally fly through. We have lots and lots of songbirds, so things like cardinals and chickadees and bluebirds and grosbeaks. I want to back up the feeder. Lots and lots of variety. Hummingbirds are almost back, and then we also have things like sandpipers. It just depends on what habitat you're in, but you'll probably see something for sure. Yeah.
Are most of your birds seasonal or not?
Yeah, so we have a combination of both. There are some that are definitely seasonal, just here for winter or just here for summer, and then they leave, they migrate. However, most of the birds that we see probably are here year-round.
Do you feed the birds every day?
So here in the parks, most of our bird feeding stations are just winter only. However, we had a really generous donation by a family who wanted a year-round bird feeding station. And so, yes, there are some locations that we feed year-round. Even places where we feed in the winter, maybe we put up hummingbirds and feeders instead for in the summertime. But yeah, we rely a lot on our seed donations as well. So we do request seed donations to come in, or suet cakes. That's another one that's super popular. And I will say that the raccoons and squirrels and deer don't know that it's bird food, so they also enjoy the seed as well.
How much feed do you guys grow through?
I would say park-wide, it's hundreds and hundreds of pounds every year. Most of it in the wintertime, like I said, for our winter bird feeding sites, but hundreds of pounds. And typically it's like our preferred seed that we always request is the black oil sunflower seed. Those are the highest in fat content and protein content for the birds, especially in wintertime. And they provide a lot of diversity in what birds come to the feeder as well. But we'll take the mixes too. It just, sometimes those cheaper economy mixes have like a filler in them that the birds literally just go, nope, 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 and they push it onto the ground, and then they go after what they want. And so we prefer that, but another food source that we give them all year long is typically like suet cakes. And I have volunteers who I work with that they actually make the suet cakes for us. And so it's really great, and we try hard to make sure the raccoons can't just take the whole thing and run. Like at night, they try.
Can you show me an example of a suet cake?
Sure, yes. This one is a store-bought one, but you can see it kind of has seed mixed into it, and it's mostly just fat that's on there. So birds, it kind of doesn't seem like it's a normal fit. Like, why would a bird eat fat? Like beef fat? It's incredibly good for them. It's really, really good high fat content for winter time especially. But they make ones that are no melt suet as well. The ones that we have from our volunteers, we actually get suet donated or purchased at really low cost. And then we have a volunteer who renders it down, basically cook it down, and then you mix in seed or peanut butter or insects or whatever you want to put in it. And the birds come when you put it out, especially woodpeckers. It's one of their favorites.
So you showed us a suet cake. Are there any other bird feeders that you guys use?
Yes, so we have what you see back here. This is a tray feeder. This is also a different type of tray feeder, so it's like where it's open. Some birds prefer that. We also do tube feeders, so it's like a tube like this, and you put the seed in it. A lot of small perching birds like that. We also do hopper feeders. So those are the ones that like have a big capacity. Fill those up, and you don't have to fill it up as often, unless the deer and squirrels like raid it. Then you have to fill it up often.
Do you have anything that you would like to show us or tell us about nature education?
Sure, that's actually the majority of my job, is to do nature education. So I brought a few of our taxidermied bird collection. These are two that we might find on a feeder. This one is the eastern bluebird. And if you put mealworms in your feeder, they will come. That's what their preference is. Right now they're laying eggs, and so they're looking for a lot of extra protein raising their young. So that's the eastern bluebird. This one is another one that, this is the red-bellied woodpecker. I know it seems like it has a red head, but it's absolutely not the same species. But the red-bellied looks like it has the red mohawk down its head. And this is a really, really common one. They love the suet. And any of bigger seeds. They like bigger seeds in general because they have a bigger bill. But yeah, we do lots and lots of programming, and we have a really awesome collection. But it allows us to get nature in front of people, you know, even in a classroom that they maybe wouldn't have had an interaction with before. So very blessed to have lots of these.
Is there anything interesting that you would like to share with us about the bird houses or the different birds here?
Yeah, so bird houses. So as much as possible, we like to encourage natural, habitat for the birds, but there are a few species that need a little extra help and have needed that. One is the bluebird, the one I showed you, and that one, they are a cavity nester, so they need a box or like a hollow tree. So we here at the park have, I think, 28 bluebird boxes, But we have to be real careful because a house sparrow, they also love to use these spaces. And a house sparrow is a non-native, fairly invasive species, and they're very aggressive. And we had a volunteer who was very interested in owls, and we have a great population of owls, and one of them is the barred owl. And the barred owl loves cavity nesting too, but they need a bigger space. So he built us some boxes, and they have nested in there past 3 years and have had babies in that box. So it's really nice to be able to enhance the habitat and be able to keep some of the species that need that little extra help here.
Is there any advice you would like to share with our young explorers?
Sure, yeah. So the youth is our future, right? And so that's not only including like our human imprint and how we succeed, but also how our wildlife and nature succeed. So my advice is to get out there, to look at what's around you. Even in your yard, go to a local park. Take a moment to sit and absorb what's there. And to understand it better will help you to care for it better in the future too. And you'll learn that we're a part of this, just along with the raccoons and the bees and all of the things that are out there. So take a moment and get out there and explore.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing about the wildlife.
You're welcome.